is the business of the day. And ahead of this business of the day, I saw something quite interesting on a WhatsApp page where a friend of a Rotarian who was inducted didn't know that his very good friend has been inducted a week earlier. For that reason, we were like, okay, it will be a very good opportunity for the 3 out of the 4 Rotarians who inducted last 2 weeks to tell us a little bit about themselves. We want to begin the meeting. There will be no introduction here. Obviously, they'll be introducing themselves and then we'll get to know who they are outside of their CVs. Rotarian Gloria, would want to start with you. You have the
Good evening, fellow Rotarians and retractors. My name is Gloria. Come to my do. I was named after my Happy. Can I go on?
Sure, you can go on.
Yes, thank you. I was named after my paternal grandmother. I was born on the 14th January 1990 to Mr. Daniel Kwame Edu and Mrs. Agnes Asantwa Edu. My parents are both retired. My dad is a retired banker and my mom is a retired nurse. I come from Enum in the Eastern region and I live at East Airport off the Spinters Road with my parents, with my family. Yeah, so that is baby Gloria with my parents. Can we please move to the next slide? Yes, so that is me growing up. And the next slide, RP, please. So I'm the first of 3 girls. My sisters are Ruth and Jennifer. So that is us. Then the next slide is a picture of us over the years. I had my basic education at Mofacho Girls Boarding School in Kumasi. My mom had been posted there, so she kind of laid anchor because of my dad's job. We kept being transferred around a lot. So my siblings and I all went to boarding school and we finished boarding school, in fact. Then from there, I went to St. Louis Secondary School, also in Kumasi. I completed in 2007. Then in 2008, I gained admission into the University of Ghana, where I graduated in 2012. I majored in political science and sociology. And during my first degree, I also pursued an ACC certificate in human resource at GEMPA. In 2015, I went back to the University of Ghana to law school, where I graduated with an LLB in 2017. I am currently pursuing the professional certification program in HR at the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management to become a certified HR practitioner. My work professional life, I started working at the Ghana Armed Forces Medical Services in 2013 after national service. I am currently a principal human resource manager. I am somewhere in the picture. I always like to hide in group pictures. I'm an event planner. That's my side hustle. Event planning is a passion. I'm highly organized and I think that I found an outlet in event planning. And so I do events on the side. The next slide is some of the work. I do social and corporate events. So the next slide is a picture of some of the events that I have done over the years. I'm a Christian, I'm a Presbyterian, who strives to fulfill the Lord's Great Commission, and I have a great passion for the youth. I worship at the Abundant Grace Presbyterian Church. It's at Manek Gardens of the Spinters Road, where I am a youth teacher. The next slide is a trip we recently had to Shire Hills, and so those are the kids I teach at church. My Rotary journey. My Rotary journey actually started quite early. My mom, as a public health nurse, I always go around with her during immunization. So I was very glad when my former DDG spoke to me about Rotary, and I was very interested from the beginning. And so somewhere in May earlier this year, I was invited to Rotary by Colonel Belnunu, and I was inducted on the 29th September, and it's been an amazing experience so far. Yes, so the next slide is some pictures from the induction at the African Regent Hotel. I do voluntary work with a foundation called Mixed Bag. It was founded by my friend, Ifa. The aim of the foundation is to get some of the kids off the street in Accra into profitable employment and into school as well. It is self-funded by the members, and so currently we have stalled because finances, the economy is not as it used to, but definitely we'll go back to it. My hobbies and interests, I like to bake. I like looking at fast cars that I cannot yet afford. Hopefully I can afford some of the cars that I like in future. I love to read and listen to music. I also love to eat. I'm an amateur plant man, and I enjoy taking care of my plants. My absolute dream car is a red 2018 Jeep Wrangler. The next slide. So yes, is my mom inspecting some pots we bought, and yes, basically my life in pictures, a few pictures. I am driven by my mother's example and her encouragement, as well as I've had so many mentors whose influences have shaped my life. I want to look back on my life and see that I lived well and I've impacted a lot of people, and I did not squander any opportunity that was handed me. So basically, this is me in summary. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Return Gloria. That is quite interesting. Hello, parents. If you want to please return Gloria on her birthday, you know what to get for her: a red Wrangler. At this point, I'll leave the floor for questions. Any questions, any comments? Questions to return Gloria? Before we move on to the next presenter. Okay, there's a comment here, an awesome presentation via Jajo. Any question to return Gloria? Return Gloria, I have a question. You indicated that you did your LLB.
Yes.
Do you have any intention of being called to the bar as well?
Yes. I took a break from the law because I did it full time whilst working, and I got really sick after school. So it's something I adore and fear. I will eventually go back to the law. Eventually, I don't know when. It's just the law is a jealous mistress. It took so much from me. So I will approach it cautiously when I'm finishing it.
Very well, very well. Any more questions, please, fellow Rotarians?
Return President, Return Gloria mentioned that she has an event management company, but she didn't tell us what the name of the business is.
Okay.
Oh, LH Events. Oh, sorry. So sorry about that. I forgot. LH Events. I will put that in the comments, please.
Is it ELITE? Hello, Sharon Gloria.
Hi, RP.
Is it Elite Event? As an ELITE?
Yes, LH Events. Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's fine. Any more questions, please? That I'm sure the person PP Master is also an event planner, so I'm sure she wants to know who her competitors are.
I want to know who my colleagues are.
Colleagues are not your competitors. Very well. Yeah. Very well. Also. And for the record, PP Master is a good one at that. Okay. So, fellow Rotarians, I didn't know this side of you about your event planning. At least we know who to call when the next event knocks on our door.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much, Return Gloria.
Thank you, Happy.
We'll move on to the next presentation, Return Grace, to share with us. Return Grace, who are you?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, fellow Rotarians. In fact, when I was called yesterday by Mr. President, and he referred to me as Rotarian Grace, I was like, wow, so finally I'm here. And it felt like a dream come true because I've been wanting to be a Rotarian for a very, very long time. So thank you, Accra East, thank you. So the question is, after being referred to me as a Rotarian, I thought I've been known, I've been introduced, so there's no need to do any further introduction, but maybe this will help you to know the other side of me besides my paper presentation. So yes, I'm Grace Osaibunsu. I'm an Ashanti. I'm sorry I couldn't do a PowerPoint because I was having challenges with my laptop. I'm an Ashanti, born and bred in Kumasi. I was born to two illiterate parents, one a trader and one a businessman, a typical Kumasi businessman. My dad used to do business in the Kumasi magazine area. My mom was a trader in the market. So growing up, I was going to the market to help sell. And then occasionally when we are on vacation, go to magazine to help sell spare parts and stuff like that. So growing up, I got used to customer service, relationship building, and in fact, how to do business. So basically, apart from my educational background, I do a lot of business on the side. I'm a Methodist and I fellowship at Mount Zion Methodist Church in Sakumono. I live in Community 20, and by way of education, I went to Winneba Secondary School from 1 to upper 6. Thereafter, I went to KNUST. I pursued a diploma in estate management, came back to work a little bit, and then went back to school to do postgraduate diploma in housing finance in Rotterdam, Holland. Came back, worked a little, went back to school to do BA Econ Sociology. And then after that, I came back to work at a Prudential Bank. It's been on and off, school and job, but my childhood experience actually helped me to place myself wherever I find myself working. At Bank for Housing, I worked at the estate department. So we were doing valuation of assets, properties. Whenever anybody wanted a loan and they have to bring collateral, then they bring their properties. So we go do valuation. And then I also worked at the mortgage department. We're doing loan appraisal for mortgage loans, doing progress inspection, at properties that have been acquired with mortgage loans, and recommending further disbursement. I did that for some time. Then I went back to school, came back and joined Prudential Bank. At Prudential Bank, I joined them at the initial stages. So with my estate management background, I helped in acquisition of properties for branch work. And I worked at the project finance department also. We did credit appraisal for loans. Apart from that, I was taken through marketing. I became head of marketing. I worked as a customer service person. I was in the customer relationship department as head. I also worked at the SME. So my childhood experience, early childhood exposure to business kind of shaped me wherever I went. So this quality was found out by the bank and they placed me so well. So with Prudential Bank, we were a small and medium bank. So we focused on the small and medium customers, and I featured prominently in that area, going to the market to acquire customers, mixing very well with the very poor, the very low income people, salary workers, the exporters, non-traditional exporters. So at one point I became head of non-traditional export desk. We also did SME loans. SME loans, we were handling from, all levels, up to about 1 million I was the one who was handling that desk. So beyond all this, I was also doing my hustle, behind the scenes. I entered into business. I set up Gracia Ventures. It's still in Adabraka. We were dealing in stationery and computer accessories, which I still run. I also set up a guest house, Gracia Lodge, which I'm sure the pictures are there for you to see. Gracia Lodge is located in Sakumono Estate. I have 2 branches there, and that is what I'm running currently after retirement. Yeah, so family, I have a child, I'm single, I have a child, a daughter who lives in the US with her family. She has 3 girls, so I have 3 big granddaughters. They live in the United States, so I shuttle between Ghana and the US quite often. For my family background, my father, we had 32, we are 32 actually. My father being an illiterate and then a businessman, he had 32 children. So you can imagine, most of them are into business, most of them outside Ghana, some are in Accra, some are in Kumasi. I'm the 3rd born of my mother, who both parents have passed anyway. I'm a professional association. I belong to the Ghana Institute of Sabiers, so sometimes I do valuation on the side, but I don't really do that much these days. My journey through Rotary. My journey through Rotary started somewhere in 1989. That's a long time ago. I went to a hotel with my husband, and in that hotel, it's located in Achimota. It's called Wetham Hotel. And we saw some noble-looking gentlemen, a group of them attending a meeting. So upon inquiry, we found out that it was Rotary Club. I said, wow, I would want to belong to this club. But unfortunately, at that time, they didn't admit women. So I encouraged my husband to join Rotary. So I became an inner wheel. So most of the time, during functions and projects and programs, we attended together. So I know a bit about Rotary, and I've been yearning since we separated to still belong to Rotary. My friends, I have great and uncountable friends in Rotary. PAD Brown is my friend. He's the husband of my best friend, Mary Brown. Rotarian David is my friend. Rotarian Teresa Oseichitu is my friend. And in fact, countless number of them are my friends. So I'm at home. And Rotarian Dinah Bonzi is my friend. In fact, we all worked at Prudential Bank. And whilst there, she actually encouraged me to come to her club. And Rotarian David also encouraged me to come to her club. So finally, when I joined, I was very happy that I could be with Accra East. And my hobbies and my source of relaxation. I travel a lot. Every opportunity that I get, I want to see the world, the other side of the world. I like volunteering. I mean, I do a lot of community work, especially when I'm in the US. I do a lot of volunteering at schools, my grandchildren's school. And then I do mentoring. We have a group of women who go to schools and mentor. It's unfortunate, but I'm sure as time goes on, you get to know me better. And I like meeting people. In fact, that was the main reason why I set up the guest house, because it helps me to meet different types of people, different categories of people, share your stories. And then when you're able to help, you feel very fulfilled and satisfied. So basically, that is about me. Life after Prudential Bank. Fortunately, while I was working at the bank and at various places, I acquired a few properties. So I put them together. And I'm doing property management. I have properties of my friends and my siblings that I've put together, a portfolio of them that I manage. So I have staff who do facility management along the lines. And I also run my guest house. So I'm also into hospitality services. And I believe this is the entrepreneurial skills that I acquired from my early days whilst helping my mom in the market and my dad at Swami Magazine. So basically, I'm entrepreneurial oriented, and I think I sharpened it up when I went to Gimpa to do an MBA in entrepreneurship. And finally, when I was leaving Prudential Bank, I thought I should do something that will help me with my after work, So I went to Ghana Institute of Consulting and did a certificate in consulting. So occasionally when I'm contacted, I do a bit of consulting, especially with the micro and then the small and medium scale enterprises. I like to do business advisory, provide business advisory services, and then mentor the young ones. We do, sometimes we go to the market and talk to the Kaya youths and then organize the traders in the market also to give them some business advisory services. So basically, this is about me. I hope as time goes on, you get to know me better. Thank you.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. This is awesome. This is awesome. Jose, please. This is loaded. Um, Another awesome presentation, PhD just says, I agree, says Return Ernest. Or Return Ahinwa of Rotary Club of Accra Section says, great presentation. Past President Bright says, I concur, which means, I mean, it's a solid presentation, great presentation. You are doing so well. And I must say that since you like working with the Kaya in the market, we'll be looking forward to your engaging the Kaya at the Zongo Boot Camp, which we hope to execute in January next year. And I see another comment, our PhD new Rotarians. It looks like the group of Rotarians we inducted, the caliber of friends you have. Some old Rotarians are even yet to engage them, but you already started engaging them before. Congratulations, Return Grace. Fellow Rotarians, any questions for Return Grace, please? Questions, comments, Return Grace. Yes, so PhD cohort. I must say the kind of screening President-elect did from over 20 prospective Rotarians to come to these 4 Rotarians. I mean, it's something that over the past few years that I've been in Rotary, it's really painstaking, but I think it's worth it. Rotary Green, someone says, that's Rotary past President Nana K. Her hotel was my joint too when I was engineering the renovation of Friday's restaurant. So I guess someone used to lodge at your place.
Oh, wow.
Says, PP Mansa of the Rotary Club of Accra Trinity says, Rotary Grace's daughter is my classmate from school. She and I have maintained very good friends. I'm happy to see her at Rotary and hope her daughter joins my club soon. I guess people are poaching members now. PP Mansa, that is well noted. Since Rotary Club of Accra Trinity was started by the Rotary Club of Accra, it will just be in order.
I think you can start this one.
Rotary Grace, great presentation. Rotary Mamiya claps her hands. Rotary Belnuno, I see you on call. Your guest, Rotary Gloria, made mention of you, and thank you for following up on her to bring her into Rotary. We're most grateful. So the third and final presentation has been exciting so far, fellow Rotarians. The 2 presentations. I can't wait to hear from Rotary Samuel. Rotary Samuel, you have the floor.
Thank you.
Thank you too, Rotary Grace.
Good evening, RP, fellow Rotarians, Rotaractors, and guests. I'm happy to make a short presentation of myself as a means of introducing a little beyond my CV that was circulated before I was admitted into Rotary. So RP, with your permission, if I can share my screen.
Sure, you can share.
Thank you. Yeah, so Who am I? So my name is Arthur, and my first name is Samuel, but most people call me Arthur. We call Arthur all my life. So yeah, I am a Fanti by birth. My father is from Winneba and Cape Coast, and my mother is from Elmina. But then I was born in Takoradi when my father was the base commander for the Takoradi Naval Base. And then we then moved to Accra when he commanded the Flagstaff House. At the time, it wasn't the seat of government. So was the commander for that. And then we moved on to Tema when he became the commander for the Tema Naval Base. And later on, he joined the ministry as a Methodist church minister and then became reverend as well. So eventually he was called Reverend, very Reverend Commander Ebenezer Okoa. And he's the one that started Rotarian Graces Church at Sakumon Mount Zion. He started with me, my mother, and my 4 siblings at the time.
He's my favorite pastor. No.
Yeah, so that's my dad. So we started on the school park under one canopy, and he will bring us, take our collection from us, which he gave to us, and then go in. So he taught us some principles that have guided me through life. But then growing up, I had always been the one that seemed to kick against structures. So I always had rows with my dad. So I left home at the age of 17 there, and then started life on my own. So I started off apprenticing as a draftsman. And then once I completed my apprenticeship in about 2 years, I got a job with Design Emporium with architects in Sincho. And then I worked there for a bit. And then after that, I left off and then went into freelance and then started my own consultancy drafting. So I drafted for some other architects, including the Wega at the time. And then I left there and then went to, so as we go on with the slides, let me just go by the slides so that's basically it. I started off like that, but I didn't wait to end there. So yeah. So this is me as who I am now. I am a general works contractor. I do most constructions, from building constructions, road, traffic light installations, road markings. We do all that. I superintend over 5 companies. I Design Group being a group company that includes I Design Properties, I Design Start, and then I Design Construction. And then I superintend over L Atlantis Group as well. So I built I Design Group, I Design into a group company, and then I built L Atlantis into a group company. So in the picture is me giving the voice pressure on the construction side. And then the one at the bottom is us having our usual Monday board meeting we call the situational briefing. So that's for what I do now. I've done some consulting for a few institutions here, notable of which is Action Chapel, Whitaker. I did some work for the Chartered Institute of Accountancy, and some few other individuals and organizations. Yeah. So my even though I ran away from home, I started off as a draftsman, apprentice, and I didn't leave it there. But I left home after I had finished Operation Secondary School, A levels, and then later on I went to the University of Ghana Business School to do business administration. So I am an alumni of the University of Ghana Business School. Yes. Then at some point I moved to London I consulted for an architect called Miyama and Associates. So we're working on a few projects. So I want to work with him for a bit, and more of as a consultant than as an employee. So I was in London for a couple of years. And then after that, I came back and then I continued with the work that I was doing here in Ghana. So this is my family. I'm divorced. I was married for 10 years from 2008 to 2018. And then I've been divorced for the past 4 years. So that's why you're not seeing my wife in the picture. I was having an argument with my PA this afternoon that I should still put, I said, my life today does not include it. So, yeah, so that is me and my adorable daughters, Kimberly and then Kimara, as when they were younger, and I didn't have a beard, and then now that they are maturely young women. Yes, so that's my family. The eldest is called Kimberly, and then the youngest is called Kimara. So that's that for that one. These are my passions, what I love to do, and I've been doing this since I was 19 years. I have always been interested in building the youth, probably because of the journey that I took myself growing up. I have always had a passion of building the youth. So I have always had a course I run in my offices where I teach entrepreneurship for free. So I always have about 20 people at a time that I train in entrepreneurship. And I have always believed that the solution to some of our issues concerning employment and also economic advancement of the nation has to do with promoting more of entrepreneurship, not just as some work to do or some business to do, but I feel that every kind of training in Ghana should orient towards entrepreneurship. I feel that if you're an engineer, the concept of being in school to get a certificate to get a job should change and be replaced by the concept of learning to understand what is, what should be, and what I can do now to make the should be come to pass. So I feel that the idea of research entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, other areas, scale-up entrepreneurship, all of these things should be imbued into our educational system so that we come out with the mindset of creating something instead of looking for somebody who is created something, who needs us to use us. So I've been doing that. And in the same vein, if you look at the picture at the top on your right, I set up an organization where I mentored, up to now, mentored about 402 students from the University of Professional Studies, University of Ghana, and then Wisconsin University. And it was also mentoring them. This goes a little beyond teaching them about entrepreneurship and orienting their mind towards entrepreneurship. But the whole idea was be your own boss. That was what it was called, be your own boss. And the idea is that try and focus your attention on your studies, not so you can pass an exam, but so that you can internalize what you're studying and prove how your study can help you create something that can outlast you. And so I was meeting with them at the Vice Chancellor Secretariat at opposite UPSA once every week until COVID hits, and then we had to discontinue that. I'm here to restart that. So that's that one. And I love to play tennis. I've been playing tennis for years. I enjoy playing tennis, whether I'm in the country or anywhere I go. I would always see a day or two in the week to play tennis. And I love to swim as well. And as you can see, my kids are taking after me. So we go swimming as often as we can. So these are my passions in life. Then my life in Rotary is where I was inducted. I came into Rotary not with the interest of joining Rotary. I think Rotarian Dean, I don't know if he is an RP or P, I don't know what is where he is in the hierarchy in Rotary, but all I know is that he's called Rotarian. He invited a friend of mine to Rotary. And then my friend called me and said, "Oh, Charlie, I have some meeting at complete. Let's go." And, we had a meeting after that, so said, "Let's just pass through." So I came, and then I was in the meeting. I was very, very impressed. I was hit by IPP Francis. There was just something about him that made me feel like I want to be where he is, what he does. He has this very soft, peace about him that attracted me. Then RP Andrew was always smiling. He was laughing at the corner all the time. At the time, he was sitting behind the computer, and he kept looking in my direction and was laughing and smiling. I thought this must be a goody happy place. It's good to have a family, so probably I should take this serious. And once this, about 3-4 months ago, and once I left the meeting that day, I have not missed any meeting for the club, and I have visited about 5 different other clubs and been to their meetings. Then eventually last 3 weeks, I was inducted into Rotary, and a week after that, on the Monday, I joined the polio vaccination. I did my bit of that, so you can see those pictures. So that is about me so far, and if you have any questions, I am happy to answer them. Thank you.
Wow, fellow Rotarians, this is loaded. Fellow Rotarians, I want to crave your indulgence. It's 1 minute to 19:30. I would beg of you to add 10 more minutes of your time. So